Hello, everybody. It is your favorite vampire, Aveline here, and I've got some more Hercule Poirot, the first cases for ya. I just like the bright orange bag. Anywho, as we recall last time we played the prologue, I had to split the prologue into two parts because of how long it is. This game's a long haul, and it gets you really thinking. But to get everybody caught up, we have been invited to the engagement dinner of Annelien von der Busch. I know I'm butchering that, but I really and truly don't care. Yeah. So we're about to get a reintroduction to some familiar characters as well as some new ones. I really love this game. Alright. Knock on the door. A moment longer in this weather and my fingers would have become too cold to even knock the door. Yoo-hoo! Lucy, I'm home.
Bonjour, my name is Hercule Poirot. I am here at the invitation of Mademoiselle Angeline.
Oh yeah, before I forget, there was also, when she wrote us, she not only invited us to the engagement dinner, she also wanted us to help her out with the blackmail that's apparently going on. So, let's continue on.
Ah, Detective Poirot. We have been expecting you. Please come in from this frightful cold.
Thank you, Archibald. I really do appreciate it.
Merci. I don't think I would have lasted much longer out here before turning into an icicle.
Welcome. I am Archibald Sterling, the head butler. Please accept my apologies. I have a rather pressing matter, but I will see that you are attended to immediately.
Do not trouble yourself on my behalf. I'm sure I am more than capable of finding my room. I shall straighten myself up and be ready to join the party.
There is no rush, Detective. Dinner will not be served for some time. So please, make yourself comfortable. Once you have settled in, I am sure that Miss Angeline will be happy to see you. She has been eager for your arrival. She's not been herself recently. You will be staying on the first floor. I believe your room is one of the two on the west side of the house.
Merci. I am sure we shall speak again soon.
Uh-huh. It was the butler! The butler did it! But in the meantime, we now have a new mind map. It is time to make myself comfortable. I should begin with finding my room and straightening myself up before the party begins. Might as well go ahead and clear these out. Tonight's arrivals have written a small signed message. The male guests are based in the East Wing. But yet, why am I in the West Wing? And he, if many of you remember him from the London case.
Bonjour. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Detective Hercule Poirot.
Detective, I hope you're not here for me.
No, you handsome devil.
Not that I am aware of. Should I be?
Ha ha ha! Not often you meet a detective with a sense of humor. I'm Zakaria Demir, but you can call me Zach.
Judging from the smell of alcohol, I would say he had begun the celebrations already and is likely to be this friendly with everyone.
If I had seen them, maybe I would have. It is meant to be their celebration, but they're always off, dealing with something or other.
Something or other? A rather vague expression.
Let's just say they like to keep their cards close to their chest. For such a well-known family, I'm surprised they can keep anything hidden.
Would you care to elaborate on what Mademoiselle may be hiding?
I'd rather not. You're the detective, isn't that your job?
Très bien, Monsieur Demir.
Perhaps I should keep my occupation and reason for being here to myself for now at least. I fear it may derail my initial introductions.
You'll be lucky. I've been waiting for a refill for ages. I came out here to find someone myself.
Ah, I see. The preparations for this evening's dinner must have taken precedence.
I've seen that butler running around like a madman, but there is still no party to speak of. It's pretty clear they need to hire a few more hands.
I shall take up no more of your time. À bientôt.
Alright. I mean, it's kind of obvious that the family holds a few secrets. After all, Cassandra was selling family heirlooms off to pay the bills.
I
No.
must act on thought and fact, not on impulse.
So, we've got one that we can already attach.
Is there something I am not seeing?
It's been a while since I last played this game. But there we are.
Magnifique.
I feel dumb. A butler will usually escort me to my room, but on this occasion I must find my own way. The butler is stressed due to lack of staff. Which is entirely and completely understandable because Cassandra has a nasty where is she? There she is. This bitch caused a maid to get jailed because her daughter didn't want to sell her father's bracelet, as this woman was selling the rest of the family heirlooms. You know, with that dress, she looks like Lady Tremaine from the Cinderella. Like the old school classic cartoon. Not the live action. I wonder if that's what they were going for. But let's head upstairs and look for our room. Alright, set on the first floor. There's a letter. An auctioneer's receipt. I hope Madame Von de Bush isn't finding it necessary to sell her belongings. Receipt for sale of 1 oil painting, 1 gold flaked frame, chipped, 1 marble bust. So, 600 francs payable. Looks like she might be selling stuff again. A painting of a valley with a series of beautiful cliffs. The scenery is truly breathtaking. beautifully composed painting of 7 saints. Madame has quite an eye for striking artwork. A painting of the sun rising over a town. Sadly, it appears to have some water damage. Over here. That, I believe, is to the library. Also trying to, like, get a feel for this place again. That's the southwest quarter. Grandfather clock. Time and skill it takes to build such a wonderful piece. It is an art form. Mounted animal head.
Oh.
I am not sure how I would fare coming face to face with such a beast. You and me both. I feel like his steps have gotten a little faster. I might have accidentally walked in on somebody. I hope I didn't. A selection of perfume compliments the family. Seems rather fitting for a female occupant. Did they leave me some cologne as well? Yes. Oh. A roaring fire. I could stand and gaze into the flames for hours. The fallen snow has laid a beautiful white blanket over the countryside that surrounds the house. Understandable to hide a woman's modesty while changing. If you haven't noticed that this isn't our room. Our room's actually going to be on the other side.
This will not get me any closer to my goal. I cannot see the logic in this. Perhaps a second look at the evidence in front of me.
There we
I
go.
should not be surprised by my own skills of deduction.
It appears as though I am staying in a very feminine room. Perhaps there has been some confusion. So the room was prepared for a female guest.
Some would say a lucky guess.
So Archibald
I
probably
would say
gave
a
me the
moment
wrong
of
room.
genius.
Archibald is clearly flustered with his task. It appears he has sent me to the wrong room. A card is hidden under the pillow. It indicates Hugo would like Mrs. Conrad to speak with him ASAP. It appears Monsieur Sterling has given me the wrong room. This one has been made up for a Jacqueline Conrad. No wonder I shall find my chamber by myself. So that is Jackie's bedroom. Oh. Who are you?
You must be Detective Poirot. Welcome. Allow me to introduce myself. Gideon Demir.
The fiancé to Mademoiselle Angeline. The pleasure is all mine.
Angeline spoke so highly of you. It sounds as though you are the man that can sort this terrible mess out.
I am, monsieur. You have my word.
She tries her best to keep everyone else happy, but I can see it is taking its toll.
Quite understandable. She is feeling the burden of the family that is not hers to carry.
Angeline has spoken with her mother. She has asked if there is anything that could be used against her, but she was just so dismissive.
I'm not surprised. Sandra, you bitch. I'm sorry, I am still gonna call this lady a bitch. I don't like her.
And what are your thoughts on the matter?
I do not want to overstep my position, but if there is something that could damage not only the Vandenbosch name, but our future, Angeline deserves to know.
Yeah, I agree.
That is a very diplomatic answer.
You have met Madame. You know it is best to not get on her wrong side.
So what? Fuck the bitch. Sorry, I shouldn't be saying such things. I have, and Monsieur Gideon is wise to select his battles carefully where Madame is concerned.
Mostly friends of the family, a couple of business associates of mine. Quite a mix from all walks of life.
With regards to the blackmailing, can they be trusted, or should they be considered suspects?
Angeline is struggling to trust anyone right now, but Madame Vandenbosch, as it is her house, thought it was best for us to have them all present.
Uh-huh.
And they will all be staying in the house.
Yes, it is a rather full house. All 6 guests will be staying on this floor. The family resides on the 2nd floor. As does Felix.
Oh, the Major.
I will be sure to speak with them all. However, I will keep my identity and purpose for being here hidden, at least until I have made my initial introductions.
I'm afraid that ship may have already sailed. Once the Comtesse gets wind of something, a detective coming to the house, for example, you can bet everyone will know.
Oh, that's right. The Comtesse is, gossip.
You are very observant, detective. You would be wise to keep that perceptive nature while you're here.
Yeah, we gotta deal with the Major again.
I'm sure you are correct, but I'd like to return to your feelings towards the Major.
He has been a good friend to Madame Vandenbosch over the years, but that does not make him a good man, or suitable to involve himself in family affairs.
Monsieur Gideon has not said anything negative against the Major, but it sounds as though he is questionable of the Major's intentions in the house.
Merci, monsieur. I shall leave you to prepare for tonight's celebrations.
Cool. And now for us... Oh, plant!
Oh.
Plants lean and rely on each other to survive, something we as a species could take a lesson from. Alright. So, since my room is not on the west wing, it should be over here in the east wing. Oh, yeah. Let's go ahead and get Gideon Demir. The fiancé of Mademoiselle Angeline, although English is not his first language, he is well spoken, which I presume comes from a prestigious education. I instantly found him rather charming and charismatic, and is clearly supportive of Mademoiselle Angeline, the perfect example of a husband to be. He is friendly and full of life. I imagine he would feel comfortable as the center of attention with all eyes in the room on him. It's obvious he enjoys a drink or two, but what harm is there in that at a celebration such as this? And he's a good-looking motherfucker too. Anywho, I might actually have to go ahead and speak with Angeline, but first, let's head downstairs. Bon. Mademoiselle Angeline is here. The sooner I learn more about the blackmail, the quicker she could return to celebrating her happy news. I'm also eager to hear about Mademoiselle Elizabeth and what became of young Fleurette. Which, if you don't remember, Fleurette was taken into custody and pretty much charged with theft. The Vandenbush family have held a place in my mind since our first meeting. I am most interested in seeing what has changed since then.
Mademoiselle Angeline, it is a pleasure to see you again.
Detective, how wonderful you are here. Your travel was not too arduous, I hope?
Watching from my carriage window, I saw the beautiful countryside and rolling hills. It was anything but taxing.
I'm truly thankful you could make it here at such late notice.
No thanks are required, mademoiselle. When one is requested personally, there is nothing more important.
Gideon and I only wanted a small dinner to celebrate our engagement, but Maman was adamant on throwing this party. It may have been her idea, but it's the staff that have made it happen. Their efforts do not go unnoticed, from me at least. They have been with us for so long. I do my best to make sure they are happy and content.
Mademoiselle has made a remarkable transformation from a selfish, spoiled brat to the gracious young woman I see before me. Although I must solve this case alone, Mademoiselle's insight may be of great assistance throughout my investigation.
Oh, Detective, I'm afraid I just don't know.
She was quite adamant at the police station that she would not be returning to the house, but I assumed she would at least collect her belongings.
Maman demanded that Elizabeth pack up everything she had and dispose of it.
As if the poor girl had not already lost enough.
But I couldn't let that happen. Elizabeth and I took her belongings, what little there was of them, to a friend of hers in the town that Elizabeth knew of. But not even she had heard from her. I wanted to contact her, but I had no address or telephone number.
Surely Madame must have had some information when she employed her.
You saw how Maman was. As soon as Fleurette was out of sight of the house, it was as though she had never been there at all. Elizabeth was most upset at the news Fleurette would not be returning.
And your mama's choice to ignore her accountability for the girl stopped you searching.
Please, Detective, you cannot make me feel any worse than I already do. If I could go back and live that day again, you must believe me, I would never have done it.
Mademoiselle Angeline has finally accepted responsibility and is remorseful for her actions that day and the consequences that followed. I am pleased to see a maturity in her, but that does not help young Fleurette wherever she may be.
Yes, Maman has quite a collection, although they are not all to my taste. Most, in fact.
The painting of the saints, in particular, It is quite exquisite. Is it connected to the house in some way?
The one in the hall? If you look above your bedroom door, you will see one of their names. I believe they were originally carved to watch over the occupants. Only Maman, Elizabeth, my beloved Gideon, and you, of course.
And what is your fiancé's opinion of the letters?
He thinks me foolish for paying the first one if there is no secret to reveal. But
But you believe there may be a secret lurking, one that Maman is herself keeping hidden.
she tells me nothing. Even though I'm a grown woman on the verge of marriage, she still treats me like the child I once was.
Perhaps it is out of love that she protects you. It is in every mother's nature to protect their young from hurt.
Huh. 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 I don't know. I don't know. Not with the way Cassandra's acting. The relationship between Madame and Mademoiselle is obviously far from perfect. She should treasure the time she had with Mademoiselle Angeline before she is wed and has flown the nest.
Not a single person. I don't know anyone that would stoop so low.
The guests that will be joining us tonight, they are ones you can trust?
I hope so, Detective. Before the letters arrived, I would not have thought twice about it.
They are all close friends of yours, I assume.
Friends and colleagues, Gideon has spoken positively about them. It would be a rather underhanded tactic to do such a thing to someone you are doing business with.
Mademoiselle seems naive to the nature of business. It can be ruthless and unapologetic. Perhaps I should not overlook them as suspects as quickly as Mademoiselle has.
Merci, mademoiselle. I shall find you if there is anything further I need.
Alright. So, now that we've done that, we now go ahead and do this.
Order and method. That is the way to solve the problem. I must take
No.
a different approach if I am to uncover the truth.
Okay. There we
Another
go.
success. I never doubted myself.
7 prestigious saints. I should find these above 7 doors in the house. I wonder if this matches the number of expected guests. 7 saints assigned to rooms. There we
Things are
go.
beginning to become clearer.
All the first floor rooms are accounted for. Perhaps the missing door is hidden elsewhere.
Come, my
No.
little grey cells. We must think logically.
There we
Pieces
are.
of the puzzle are finally coming together.
I fear Mademoiselle's secret may not be the only one this house is hiding. So, now that we have that, uh-oh.
Oh,
Madame Vonderbush has always been one for Has always been one for appearances. Why would the family want to keep a price tag on the vase?
Huh.
A portrait of a distinguished-looking gentleman. He doesn't appear to be related to the family. Probably isn't. I just wanted to come over here to explore. It's been a while. It's been a while since I really played this game. But it's honestly and truly a good game. There's a welcome book. I got the telephone.
Huh.
I imagine this is used by Archibald. I very much doubt Maman would use it. I presume this leads to the dining room. I'm sure there will be a grand reveal when all are present. Yeah. Present. Can't talk. So.
What a revelation.
It appears the family's financial situation is much the same as the last time I saw them. Can I confirm this? We'll probably be able to talk to Gideon about it. But we can do that later. So, now that we know, we can't go that way. Why can I still not go this way? That leads to Jackie's room. But it looks like I gotta chit chat with Gideon anyway, so. Yet. There we are.
Please, ask away, detective.
I am aware that finances can be a sensitive subject, but may I ask of the house's situation?
As far as I'm aware, everything is in order. From what I understand, the late Viscount had made some questionable investments. But that is all in the past.
And regarding the payment of the blackmail,
Angeline does not have to worry about money anymore. I was born into some wealth, and I have earned my own fortune.
merci, monsieur. I shall leave you to prepare for tonight's celebrations.
The pieces of the puzzle are finally coming together.
It looks like the family have finally got back on track with their money problems. Glad to hear. And yet... Unless I need to go downstairs again. I might as well double check it. Male guests are in the East Wing. So unless there's something that I haven't seen just yet. Hear bottles clanging and moving furniture. I presume this is a saloon. The door is locked. Huh. The door is locked in there. Step back over here.
Aha.
An interesting looking piece of stationery. It appears rather delicate.
Ah.
I'm gonna comment about the fireplace.
Oh.
It looks quite valuable and delicate. I shall resist the temptation to inspect it further. Chance to play is very tempting, but I shall save myself the embarrassment.
Some would say a lucky guess. I would say a moment of genius.
These must be the rooms for tonight's events. They must be locked for a good reason.
What a revelation.
I doubt Madame's standards have dropped. The staff must be working hard to finalize preparations. And now we gotta go talk to, Zachariah. You handsome devil. Even if you are an alcoholic.
Detective, it looks as though I might be out here all weekend. What can I do for you? I'm a guest. I shouldn't have to go around chasing them.
Perhaps the party preparation is more of a priority.
It's not my fault they aren't ready. Why don't I wait here while you check in the butler's pantry in the east corridor? I think I saw a maid go in there earlier.
I shall take up no more of your time. À bientôt.
Okay. You're cute, but you're lazy. Where would the butler's pantry be? Oh, hey, over here. And there's Elizabeth.
Ah, Mademoiselle Elizabeth. What a pleasure to see you again.
Detective Poirot, I'm so glad you could make it.
Unfortunately, it is not purely for pleasure that I am here. Mademoiselle Angeline requires my attention professionally.
Yes, Angeline has told me. I'm glad she called upon you, Detective. I've been rather worried about her.
I will do everything I can to find the blackmailer and bring them to justice.
I have every faith in you.
I hope I am not interrupting you.
We're all very busy, as I'm sure you can imagine. After I'm done, I can come to your room and help you with any further questions. No one escorted you! I am so sorry. Everyone is just so frantic at the moment. Madame has requested all staff prepare for this evening.
And you have been tasked with jobs in the pantry. Surely your talents could be used elsewhere.
I do as Madame asks. Well, as Archie asks.
Monsieur Sterling. Yes, I met him when I arrived. A charming gentleman. He did give me some rather vague instructions to find my room, though.
I can only apologise on his behalf. He would be mortified. I'm afraid I cannot be of much more help, but I believe you are located next to Mr. De Silva. By all means, the house is yours to explore.
I suppose I should not take Monsieur Sterling's lack of directions personally, considering the amount of work the staff have been tasked with. At least now I have permission to further roam the house.
Ah yes, guests are requested to sign the book when arriving. I believe it gives details to the guests' room locations.
It stated the male guests are to be staying in the East Wing.
Yes, Madame does not believe in male and female guests residing beside one another. Yes, I'm afraid it may be all for show, though. She has not been herself, and it is not only I that have noticed.
Madame Vandenbosch. Surely it must have had some effect on her.
Madame has carried on as though nothing has happened. She has never been one to show emotion, and she doesn't seem to notice how it has affected Angeline. The staff, on the other hand... Angeline means no harm, but there have been some instances recently where she has acted rather sharply with them.
I hope not too sharply. A house of 2 Madame Vandenbosches would surely be too much for anyone.
Oh, yes. Well, I'm afraid it is far from a happy ending. Luke is sadly no longer with us.
Oh, mademoiselle, I was not aware.
It's fine, Detective, honestly. I'm sorry, but I really must finish this.
Bien sûr, mademoiselle.
For a man that has a mind so brilliant and astute, I have made it an easy job of embarrassing myself. Let this be a reminder to use one's gray cells before speaking.
Merci, mademoiselle.
And yeah.
The pleasure is mine, Detective.
And in the meantime, let's go ahead and take a look at the pantry.
Ah.
I'm just, you know, being nosy at this point. Got stuck here. I've been given permission to roam, and that is what I am doing. Roaming! There doesn't seem to be anything of interest in here. Cool. Ooh, a letter. I have friends.
Before you leave, Detective, I have something for you beside the furnace here from Angeline. She wanted me to give it to you on your arrival.
Merci, mademoiselle.
Alright, well. This second letter acknowledges a payment from a previous blackmail letter. You're wise to take me seriously. You have bought my silence for a moment at least. Your family's privacy obvious means a great deal to you. If you are willing to pay to keep your secrets hidden and continue to pay, you will. Would your maman be as willing to part with her wealth? You will bring a second parcel with another 5,000 francs to the cobblers, this time addressed to a Monsieur Fontaine. Buy clothes on Friday. You've done your family a service by keeping this arrangement to yourself. I'm sure I do not have to tell you what will happen if the police are involved, and I hope it will not come to that. Well, that's disturbing. I am now able to read the letters that were sent to Madame Angeline. I am sure there is a great deal to learn from them, and hopefully some clues to the author. Oh, excuse me.
Things are beginning to become clearer.
I can't ignore the coincidence. The same style of pen that wrote the letters is present in the house. So I need to talk to Angeline. I also need to go ahead and talk to Elizabeth.
Of course, Detective. What is it? I would not say it in front of the Major, but it is rather hideous. It was a gift from him to Madame from his time overseas. I don't think it even has the capability of writing.
A pen that does not write is like a fish that cannot swim.
Yep.
As Angeline describes it, a useless ornament. It's the thought that counts, I suppose.
Merci, mademoiselle.
Pleasure is mine, Detective.
So apparently it's just a useless... Apparently it's just a useless decoration. Ooh. Oh! House deeds. Deeds for the house are rightly framed, but why left here and not hanging on the wall? Was there anything else that I could connect? Nope. But I do need to stop by and talk to Angeline.
What can I help you with, Detective? I was right to pay it, yes? You have read them. What do you think?
You were wise to consult me, but bowing to their threat may have only shown that you are willing to pay for their silence. Is the secret they speak of worth so much?
Don't know.
I wish I could, but I have no idea. The letter was addressed to me, but I have nothing to hide. Maman took one look at it and disregarded the whole thing as someone's idea of a joke.
She looked at it. She is not aware of the second letter.
She doesn't know I paid the first. I thought I could make it all go away.
Did you ask Madame if there was a family secret they could be privy to?
She said I was to ignore the letters and stop wasting my time with such foolishness. If there was something, she wouldn't tell me anyway.
It appears Mademoiselle believes her maman's attempts to brush away the serious nature of the letters as little as I do.
I couldn't ask Maman for the money. She was angry that I had even considered paying it. Gideon offered to help.
Pardon, did he not think you foolish for paying?
He did, but he said he couldn't stand by and watch me in so much distress.
How honorable.
We are soon to be married, Detective. A loving partnership that faces their troubles together. They are his words.
I did not mean anything by it, mademoiselle. You have found yourself a husband that will stand by your side and do what must be done to protect you. I am most pleased for you.
As you would expect, she has been in quite a state. It was such a terrible accident. She kept it to herself for almost a week before she even told me.
Pardon, how could you not know? Surely his absence from the house was noticed.
Maman fired him after he returned to the house. She said he could not be trusted.
But Mademoiselle Elizabeth's position was kept?
I begged Maman for them both, but she said if he was willing to go behind her back, what else could he do?
Falling in love is a far cry from committing even the smallest crime, n'est-ce pas?
A cruel and unnecessary decision made by Madame von de Busch. She has no right to fire him and tear him away from his betrothed.
She has been a kind shoulder to lean on through all this mess, but it is her I worry about. She has been through so much.
I was not aware of what had happened, and by mentioning, I fear I may have only made it worse by dredging up the past.
Do not punish yourself, Detective. You are not to know. I don't think your honest mistake will make much difference to how she has been feeling recently.
It is easier said than done. I have already seen a difference in Mademoiselle Elizabeth. She was once so exuberant and optimistic, seeing the positives in everything and everyone, but now I fear the loss of her love and the careless reminder from moi may have dampened her outlook.
Merci, mademoiselle. I shall find you if there is anything further I need.
Oh, excuse me. Nope.
I must act on thought and fact, not on impulse. I should not be surprised by my own skills of deduction.
They will no doubt be concerned for not only Angeline, but also for their positions at the house. What is the extent of their knowledge of the matter? So staff is now aware of the blackmail.
I must
Nope.
take a different approach if I am to uncover the truth. Another success. I never doubted myself.
It is truly terrible that Luke passed away, and to see how broken Elizabeth is.
Magnifique.
Losing a loved one and not having a close friend to talk to would be difficult for anyone. Which is sad. I gotta go over and talk to Zechariah.
Detective, it looks as though I might be out here all weekend. What can I do for you?
Monsieur Sterling said my room was on the first floor.
Is that what he said? I can barely understand most of what he says with that accent.
I can understand Monsieur Sterling perfectly, but Monsieur Demire is one more vigneron away from becoming unintelligible.
I find his accent rather pleasant, reassuring.
I guess. Not too helpful when it comes to finding your room, though. You'll probably be the lucky one that has that hideous plant outside the door.
I shall take up no more of your time. À bientôt.
Okay. I still have to talk to Gideon, but I'll be doing that on my way up. But as soon as we find our room, we will end this episode.
Please, ask away, detective.
Might as well.
Angeline has spoken of it. You made quite the impression on her, detective.
I feel responsible for what came from that day. Florette's dismissal and Luke's.
It is not your fault. Madame van den Bosch does not like it when her rules or authority are undermined. I tried to explain to Angeline the same, but her guilt has not left her. I suppose you think I was unwise to pay it?
I am glad Mademoiselle requested my help before you fell further out of pocket.
Madame van den Bosch had no intentions of paying it. Whether she believes there is a secret that could ruin the family, or not.
It was an honorable move for you to make the payment. It was certainly no small fee.
Angeline is to be my wife, and then we shall be family. As far as I am concerned, my money is our money.
Merci, monsieur. I shall leave you to prepare for tonight's celebrations.
Well, doesn't he seem like a gentleman? There we go. Angeline's guilty of the dismissal.
Magnifique.
Angeline is trying to do good, even though the dismissals weren't entirely her fault.
Order and method. That is the way to solve the problem.
Hmm.
Come, my little gray cells. We must think logically.
Oh. Okay.
This will not get me any closer to my goal. What a revelation!
I'm dumb. I should have thought of that. Mademoiselle Angeline, she says she never intended for Florette to be fired. I believe her. It's certainly not the happy news I was expecting. Mademoiselle Elizabeth lost her beloved Luke, and young Florette, the maidservant, has not been seen. Even with Mademoiselle Angeline's efforts, at least it appears the family has survived their financial difficulties. So that's at least one mind map done. And now we're going to be heading upstairs, or we are upstairs, to check out the East Wing. The Southwest Quarter and the Northeast Quarter. Let's check out the Northeast.
Huh.
Zechariah Demir, I presume, and his rather expensive luggage. His room faces the back garden. This plant is striking and full of color. It really draws one's attention in a positive way.
Huh.
Same thing as the grandfather clock. Out in the hall. So now we know where Zechariah's room is. I would not consider any form of nature ugly, but I am not sure how I feel about this plant. This was the ugly plant he was talking about. Plant is striking, full of color, it really draws one's attention in a positive way. More luggage from Mr. E. De Silva, left unattended and right in between the two front-facing rooms. Come, my little gray cells, let us solve this mystery. The bedroom next to Monsieur de Silva. This must be my room. Quack. I quack occasionally. Finally, I found my chamber. Although the journey was longer than expected, the destination is really quite charming. I should make myself familiar and comfortable with my new surroundings. I like this room. I wonder if I will get a chance to catch up on my reading whilst I stay here. And of course, the fireplace. For like the umpteenth time. Anything over here that I should be worried about? Nope. Check out the window.
Oh.
Snow has limited the view from the window, but it certainly has a beauty of its own. Even for a detective like myself, finding this room was quite an arduous task. The house may hold more secrets than expected. Alright. Who's knocking on my door? Oh, it's Elizabeth.
Elizabeth, thank you for coming. I shall not take up too much more of your precious time.
Not at all, Detective. I had best not be away for too long. Madame would not be pleased when there is so much work to do.
Uh-huh.
Well, mademoiselle, if anyone was to ask, I required your urgent attention with a delicate matter. That should be enough to give you a moment's peace.
Thank you, Detective. I have heard whispers, but this town is full of busybodies. It's hard to know what is the truth and what is hot air from socialites trying to outdo one another.
I would not have thought you want to join in with such chatter.
I'm not, but it can be hard to ignore. I try to quash any talk of it in the house, but it's easier said than done. When the staff are together, it seems to be a competition to see who can dream up the most scandalous rumour.
You are a loyal maid and friend. Mademoiselle Angeline is fortunate to have you.
It baffles me why they would target her in the first place. She has such a kind and pure soul. That may not be what you remember of Mademoiselle, but she has grown into a kind-hearted young lady.
I was wary of that when I arrived, but I myself can see a change in her, a maturity. And if it is as kind and pure as you have stated, she should not be troubled by the letter.
Letters, Detective. I have brought you the other.
You do not know me, but I know you and your family very well. For years, you stood high on your pedestal, attending parties, and living the lifestyle of the upper class, a life that you were born into, all the while hiding a sordid secret that would tarnish the Van de Bosch name forever. Once a respected family with morals and nobility, but now you rely on riches and jewelry to show your worth, a worth that is not deserved, even residing in a home that was obtained under your lies, but not for long. For your secret to remain exactly that, take a small brown paper parcel filled with 5,000 francs addressed to Monsieur Dupont, who Barbier and Sons cobblers before sundown on Friday. If you do as I requested, this will be the last you hear from me. You will be able to return to your life of stolen wealth and excess. If you refuse, be sure the name Van de Bosch will be on the whisper of lips for years to come.
I have tried to tell her not to think any more on them, but she fears that even a fabricated story could ruin the family name. She even frets at what it may do to her engagement.
I have met Monsieur Demire, and I cannot see his love for Angeline diminishing at something so trivial. Merci for bringing this letter to me.
Mademoiselle Angeline worries so much about the family name, but from Mademoiselle Elizabeth's telling, she has nothing to worry about, at least from her own perspective. Perhaps the secret does not directly concern Angeline at all, and she is merely the easy target.
Merci, mademoiselle.
The pleasure is mine, Detective.
Alright. So. We know by fact. Nope.
I cannot see the logic in this. Perhaps a second look at the evidence in front of me. Is there something I am not seeing?
We know both letters were
Order and
handwritten.
method. That is the way to solve the problem. The pieces of the puzzle are finally coming together.
Could the blackmailer be more interested in the house than the money they have demanded? Which means another something to talk to Elizabeth about.
I must take a different approach if I am to uncover the truth.
Hmm.
I must act on thought and fact, not on impulse. Is there something I am not seeing?
I can't remember. Oh. Come on now, thank you.
Some would say a lucky guess. I would say a moment of genius.
It is a lucky guess. Staff members that are aware of the blackmail could possibly know the reason why. Appears the Vanderbosch secret may not be a secret at all. The house staff may know what the blackmailer is holding over the family. Which is the next one?
Of course, Detective. What is it? That is news to me, Detective.
The deeds to the house that have been left on the table. Perhaps I am jumping to a hasty assumption.
Oh no, Madame asked Archie to inquire in town about having the house registered as a landmark. It's a shame the snow is so thick. The gardens are quite wonderful in full bloom. Perhaps you will be able to walk them when the snow clears. She will no doubt be with Master Gideon. The party was just beginning when I came upstairs.
That is my cue to make a grand entrance. Am I presentable enough for the creme of society?
Quite handsome, Detective.
Merci. If you catch me snoring, please poke me in the ribs.
I will use Madame's sharpest poker.
It sounds as though someone else may have already been poked.
Well, that didn't sound good. And without further ado, that is the end of chapter 1. Going into chapter 2. Oh, joy. Okay. It won't let me pause in the cutscene. Oh, and there's our good friend, the Major. Beat his ass, Gideon. Beat his ass.
Ladies and gentlemen, please, if you would be so kind to return to the party.
Beat his ass, Gideon. Beat his ass. Beat his ass! Sorry. Sorry. I love Gideon for this. I love Gideon for this.
With all this excitement out here,
I believe that is an end to the excitement, as you put it, Monsieur Demire.
It is hardly the job of a detective to resolve domestic arguments, but under the circumstances, perhaps there is more to it. I shall speak with the Major outside. No, don't speak with the Major. Let him stay out there in the cold.
Ah, thank God. One last match.
Bonjour, Monsieur Hagen.
I wondered when you would be arriving. At least now you can do your job.
Pardon, Monsieur.
I have just been assaulted. I want him arrested.
I am afraid it is not as simple as that. I merely witnessed you standing up from the ground.
This is ridiculous. You know very well what he did.
Actually, he didn't. We were just coming downstairs when we heard the scuffle.
Perhaps you could elaborate on what instigated the altercation.
I told you, I don't like him. I don't like him at all.
I should have known you wouldn't make things easy.
Dude, we're just asking what happened. It is clear that the Major is still outraged by what has just happened, but I must learn what caused such escalation into physical violence.
I have met Monsieur Demire. He does not seem one to physically assault someone unless provoked.
I hope you're not implying that I started it.
I am only stating what I have seen.
I was having a private conversation with Angeline when he interrupted and struck me. That is all there is to know.
If the Major is still the same man that I met all those years ago, I'm sure he will remain defensive, and the blame for the altercation will fall solely on Monsieur Demure. Perhaps the best approach would be to act as though I am on the Major's side and coax out the truth. Shit. Oh, this is the one that I had the most trouble with. Shit. Shit, 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 shit. Come on, what is it? Let's give this one a go?
I would not act any other way. Well, unless I am provoked.
You have grown rather close with the Vanden Bosch family, it seems.
What has my relationship with the family got to do with anything? Why are you even here, officer?
Detective. And I was invited by Mademoiselle Angeline personally.
Seems to be mistake after mistake with that girl. Of course I do. What a stupid question. He is scum. Him and his whole family. If I had my way, he wouldn't have even stepped foot in this house.
Normally I wouldn't antagonize, but you know what? You piss me off. You really do. I don't like you. I really don't. You're mean.
Officer Poirot, are you going to do something about him or not?
It is Detective Poirot. And if you refuse to answer my questions, I do not see how I can continue.
I just don't know what she sees in him. Angeline could do so much better. I don't think she realizes what she is getting herself into. I can't imagine her living a happy life with that rogue.
I see. Merci, monsieur, for your honest opinion, whether I agree or not. I shall leave you to your cigar and return to the party.
It is not often such a violent altercation happens at a celebration such as this. I should investigate why it began. I don't particularly care. If Gideon beat the general, or excuse me, the major's ass, then so be it. The major's nothing but a pain anyway. This party is already filled with more drama than most and has barely begun. I was requested here to find the blackmailer, but perhaps the altercation is connected somehow. Alright, but without further ado, since we went ahead and just popped into chapter 2 already, the one comparison I gotta make again is that unlike the London cases, you can't necessarily go back into the chapters. You have to like start where you're at. Which is a little upsetting, but at the same time, understandable. But this is where I'm gonna end this part of the playthrough. I've been recording for over an hour now. And I definitely hope you guys are enjoying this game. I will be back later this week with some more Silent Hill, the short message, as soon as I can get through that one part, which still pisses me off to no end. I will get through that part eventually. I'm just like taking a bit of a mental break because that's a game that's just heavy right now. Very, very heavy. Whereas this one's a little bit more lighthearted. But without further ado, I will catch y'all later. So later, bye! Mwah! I love you, all my lovely subscribers. Oh, before I forget, hit that like and subscribe button. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Love you.